Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on Monday Night Raw and some WWE news going around the world. WWE Studios officially has recently been planning on film projects for the next 2 years. They really want to do a movie with CM Punk, but don't want to take him off the road and have him miss Raw live events. Punk will still be able to appear on Raw like Randy Orton has appeared on SmackDown while filming 12 rounds, Reloaded. But officials need him to sell tickets to the live events. There's also been talk about doing a fourth movie with a Marine series, but this one would star a diva, most likely Eve Torres. This is why Eve has mentioned the possibility of doing a WWE movie in recent media interviews. Former diva Maxine spoke on the Rack Radio, hosted by Lindsay Ward, Sir Rockin', and Mace. Audio interview available at wildtalkradio.com/rocketsock/the rack 101812.mp3. She spoke on how she felt when she got word that she would be part of NXT. You know, I was trying not to have my expectations too high. I had been down in FCW for quite a while, the longest out of the group of girls I did. The first season we did of NXT, at that point in my mind's eye, I felt I was ready as I could, although realizing I still had a lot more growing to do and learning, but I was pumped about it. I really wanted to bring something different that they didn't have from the females, at least at that moment, and that's kind of what I concentrated on with NXT. What it was like coming through FCW. FCW was a big eye-opener for me. It was an experience. You end up with a family because you're together all the time, non-stop, always. Training together, driving together, eating together, crapping together, smoking together, drinking together, whatever. Everyone in your business is in your business. And it's just become really like a family. And at the same time, it's a family that we're pretty much told we need to claw your way to the top against each other. And sometimes you just don't want to. Sometimes you actually grow to like the people that you're around. And pretty much telling me that there's only one spot and that you have to backstab this person to get it. You know, there were people that stood by your side and there were people who would watch you fall, or at least try to. Who were her favorite people to work with? You know, I had people I got along with. Naomi really well. Me and her were always buddy down there. We always had the same crew that would drive down to the shows together. And we got to think of their new names now. Their new work names, that is. We had Damien Sandow and I were real close. He's hilarious and awesome. I think he's doing great too. Although Sheamus was down there, we used to drive to shows together. It's amazing to see the difference in how people grow in the business still. I'm very happy for the ones that did and made it and experienced such a good quality like they have on WWE, trying to get away from the model style performer and more towards the worker type girl. And if she herself coming back because of that, you know, it's a tough question whether because I personally, in my opinion, think that WWE needs to just appreciate the women more at the end of the day, whether it's a model type or not. If someone has talent, they can bring something to the table, then I think they should be looked at, not looked over. That's the kind of problem these days with. I'm thankful for the great opportunity with them as Heather comes aboard with a surprise appearance and gives her 2 cents worth with her meows. She said, if you're not down with that, I got a meow for you. She wanted to move on and pursue other things, but I know that there were a lot of good talent around. a lot of many women who died to be in her position. I just don't want them to be overlooked. So everyone should at least have the chance, model or not. If they think that they can pull it off, then let them try. If not, then move on. You just never know, right? I never knew. I never thought I would get to be where I was, so you just don't know. That was the driving force behind leaving WWE. Over time, it just starts to wear on you. Obviously, it's a massive company, and it's become overwhelming when you're up there and you have a million things going on and a million people telling you what to do or how to do it. Or be like this or that. And I felt for myself the way I was good. It might not have been amazing, but it was good. It was different, and I was okay with it. I was comfortable in my own skin, and I thought that they came across. But I would get to the back, and I just felt probably like most people who have left the company, I didn't feel appreciated. I'm not to badmouth them or anything like that. It's just I felt I could bring more to the table than I was being allowed, and I just could see the walls being built over top of me. Each day I just couldn't. It wasn't even planned. I was like, I'm either doing it today or I'm not doing it. So I just did it. There's always this time when it's like, oh, what if I would have stayed a little longer? Maybe I would have gotten my chance, but you got to stay with your gut feeling and your instincts. And my instincts told me that there was other opportunities for me in this world, and there would be other people to see, and see what I have to offer and appreciate it. If the time comes, if we ever cross paths again, me and WWE come to terms, maybe it's something we talk about. I didn't leave on a bad note, and from what I know, they're okay with me, and I'm okay with them. I just wanted to try something else. I love what I did. I love my fans. I love entertaining and being out there. I loved Maxine. It was great. It was a good thing. If she has she goes on to say if she has any future projects coming up shortly. Yeah, it's a suspense horror film. I'm really extremely lucky for the first film I landed in a lead role. Julie is the character name. The film is called Then the Night Comes. And we film in L.A. at the end of the year. Pretty much a murder spree breaks out when the sheriff suspects her, the character Julie, and I'm the one causing all this. My father was murdered. Pretty much that's what happens throughout the town, and everyone has come in contact with, ends up dead or missing, and they can't seem to find out who the killer is and discover what I'm hiding. So it's really a good suspense movie, and it has a good cast too. My brother is a massive Furlan. He was actually just in The Dark Knight Rises. He was just in the recent Batman movie. He was in Sour Surfer. He's done some good films. And Romaine Simon, who is the director, has already directed over 26 feature films. My mother is Patricia Darbo. She actually was in Mr. and Ms. Smith, Rango, Charlie Wilson's War, the one with Tom Hanks. It's a good cast. I'm extremely nervous, and I'm very excited. I'm not going to lie. It's a whole new gig for me in WWE. I wasn't expecting something like this to happen. This is what I wanted, but you just don't know when or how it's going to happen. And I'm very lucky that I did, or that it did. That I'm getting the opportunity to at least do this and see what comes about. Raw was live on Monday night at the Izod Center in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and its final Raw before this Sunday's pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. WWE has still room on the card for more matches and needs to add a little more to the feud that already announced. With the already announced matches, the tag team tournament finals supposed to be on Monday night, and there's Big Show versus Kane as well. And you got a fan report from the live crowd in attendance. Ross Lupino and his girlfriend, Stephanie Ann, who were .NET readers, they arrived at 6:45, got into the arena at 7. Wanted to purchase an adult small CM Punk t-shirt. We waited in line only to have the attendant tell us that the smallest sizes they have are adult mediums, which was kind of surprising. Our seats were a few rows up from the ring. Surprisingly, that arena was not sold out. The crowd was hot for the opening match, and Cara and Ray was fun to watch in person. But I can't say I'm disappointed with Rose Scholars winning. John Cena comes out to a mix of boos and cheers, as well as CM Punk. And Cena cut a promo that made no sense in mind to the fan that was in attendance. It's amazing how they have devalued the WWE Championship. And a bunch of us in the section were curious as to why Cena would get the Feed Me More chance going. Punk's music interfered and entered to a bunch of boos and cheers as well. Heyman was awesome in person. His body language alone is worth watching. I was waiting for the Divas match. Surprisingly, there wasn't any. Thank goodness. And they said that Burrow Del Rio came out for his match and drove out in a beautiful car. Then they went to commercial break during that, and Del Rio off camera, or unbeing tape, began playing and talking with the crowd, not being in heel form. Del Rio started blasting the engine as the crowd chanted one more time, and Del Rio applauded the crowd with it. After his match, he walked by us and said he was very friendly and not heelish. Overall, the show was great, and Ryback going over Punk at the end had the crowd popping. And they said the biggest pops was Ryback, Kofi, and Vince. Biggest boos, Punk, Vicky, and Heyman. WWE and Marvel issued a joint press release today announcing that CM Punk has written the introduction to the forthcoming Avengers vs. X-Men hardcover book. Punk is quoted in the release as saying, "To say I'm flattered to write the intro for the biggest comic book crossover ever would be, well, it wouldn't be me. Don't get me wrong, it's super cool. It also makes sense. Best superheroes in the world? Check. Best writers in the world? Plus Ed Brubaker? Check. Best artists in the world? Yup, them too. Best wrestler in the world? That's me. So it's the best team of all time. We are the best. Now you will read the best. The comic will be available in November. Just a week away." Punk is a big comic book fan, so I'm sure that this is a big moment for him. I heard about it last week, but the WWE press release is just from today. Too much wrestling is making me insane, I guess. Raw is live tonight from Eyes Out Center again. Correspondence from Raw. The advertised dark match is CM Punk versus Ryback in the largest lumberjack match ever, which actually happened on the program itself. Punk and Ryback worked lumberjack matches all weekend, so it would be interesting to see what makes this one different, being that it was a non-title match and also Ryback won. Chavo Guerrero Jr. celebrated Jr., that's a.k.a. Salvador Guerrero, number 4. Turned 42 years old this past Saturday, October 20th, the nephew of the late Eddie Guerrero. Chavo is currently one half of the TNA Tag Team Champions, along with Hernandez, as I predicted. Supermax. Former WWE WCW superstar Scott Hall, hey yo, turned 54 on Saturday. Hall was one half of the Outsiders and founding member of the NWO and WCW. He has battled with his addiction issues his entire career and has ruined his health, but has recently seemed to be in better shape, accompanying his son to indie events. Hall of Famer Pedro Morales turned 70 years old today. Morales became the first ever WWE or WWF Triple Crown winner, holding all 3 major titles. When he won the Intercontinental Championship in 1980 for Ken Patera, Morales was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995. Current TNA producer, Agent D'Lo Brown, a.k.a. real name, A.C. Connor, turned 42 years old today. D'Lo made a name for himself in the WWE in the late 90s, early 2000s, but his most infamous moment came on October 5th, 1999, when D'Lo botched his running powerbomb on Darren Drazoff, a.k.a. Droz, due to the Droz's baggy shirt and broke Droz's neck, leaving him quadriplegic. though he has regained some mobility in his upper body. AWA Wrestling Show that aired on Monday had featured the Lumberjacks versus Burton and Bennett, Texas Heyman versus Carlson and Evans, the Trooper versus Magnum, and Sergeant Slaughter in action versus Johnny Stewart. UWF had two back-to-back half-hour shows that aired at 9 p.m. The listings mentioned Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Death, the Black Hearts with Luna in the main event, but they didn't advertise the matches. They just said they were in action. And now for your Raw airing from East Rutherford, New Jersey. Show opened immediately with Rey Mysterio's music and Michael Cole and JR. Michael Coleslaw and JR's Barbecue welcomed us to Raw. Coleslaw hyped AJ's meeting with the board of directors as Rey made his entrance. Sin Cara made his entrance with a video showing that their semifinal match. Rhodes Scholars were out together as their semifinal match clip was shown. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara versus the Rhodes Scholars in the finals of the number one tag team tournament. Sin Cara and Cody started out. Both partners got in quickly. Rey set up the standoff for the 619. Cody helped him escape. Both masked men hit dives on the floor. Sin Cara tagged in and hit a double rope moonsault, but missed the crossbody attempt. Sin Cara played the babyface in peril as JR gave a history lesson on tag teams. Dear God, I forgot how great he can be. Sin Cara hit an enziguri on Sando as they go into break. Back from the break, that's commercial. Sin Cara took the elbow of despair, but then kicked out and got a hot tag to Rey. Rey hits the 619 on both men and hits splash on Cody. Sandow stopped the count with his body, bumping into the ref. Cara hit the kick on Sandow and Rey kicked him to the floor. Sin Cara followed and Rey covered and hit the crossbody for the win. Rhodes Scholars defeated and became number one contenders at 11 minutes and 16 seconds of the match. After the match, Kane and Daniel Bryan appeared on the screen, congratulating Rhodes Scholars as if they would win the titles at Hell in a Cell before answering their own question with hell no. Kane said he wanted to do some magic as he made Bryan disappear by dragging him by his beard and just stepped in front of him. Kane popped his pyro in the ring as the announced team sold the match at the pay-per-view. Commercial break. Decent match. Looking forward to what they have to pull off at the pay-per-view, and hopefully they can have a good feud. The two teams seem to be perfect foils for each other. Could be crap. Could be synergetic. Just have to wait and see how Kane's match is with slow motion action when he was versus R-Truth in the past. Kofi Kingston makes his ring entrance. Miz was introduced on commentary. Match number 2 is Kofi Kingston versus Michael McGillicuddy, who returns to Raw action. Miz complained about having to face Ryback later, and he would get his title back in 6 days. Kofi hits a surprise Trouble in Paradise to win the match. Michael McGillicuddy got in some brief offense. Well, the match only took 2 minutes 27 seconds. Video recapping of the contract signing from last week. This is a prime example of what WWE is doing, why WWE is doing so poorly right now. They just do enough to remind everyone that there is an Intercontinental Championship match on the pay-per-view, but it isn't real hype. It acts like it's lip service, and you want the main event players, you have to build them in the mid-card. Members of the New York Giants were shown at were announced on the show and sitting ringside. John Cena made his ring entrance to a mixed reaction. Even for the cheap pop of mentioning WrestleMania, Cena said that Hell in a Cell. Punk delivers on his promise of change. Cena got the crowd chanting, "Feed me more, and puts over Ryback." He said this Sunday the face of WWE will change. CM Punk's music hits and he comes up the ramp while Heyman held the belt up. Punk said that the Giants suck to get the cheap heat, and then he said that he had been champion for 337 days. Well, Cena had already said that as well, which was change you could believe in. Wait, are we getting a debate here? Punk said he knew that the reason Punk let Ryback go in front of him because Cena couldn't beat Punk. Punk said after the pay-per-view he would still be champion, but he liked Cena's new role as cheerleader for Ryback. Cena announced that he was medically cleared now and challenged Punk to come to the ring right then. Punk did, but Heyman is a towering freak out mode. Punk took off his shirt and climbed up on the apron. Heyman finally talked him out of it, and they walked back to the back. Decent segment. I wonder if Ryback moves on to Cena after this thing with Punk because Cena is jealous or upset or something. He said what he said on purpose. So what's the angle? Guess we will have to keep watching. Antonio Cesaro finished his entrance as the show comes back. So yeah, they aired him and he's already his entrance. He's entering the ring. Botch probably. Match number 3: Cesaro versus Justin Gabriel, non-title. So Cesaro went to the floor as soon as the bell rang and cut a promo in one of his non-English languages. He turned around and Gabriel hits a dive. Cesaro took control, then rolled back to the ring. Colesaw pointed out that Cesaro is wrestling with torn tendons in his right hand. Both men battled on the top rope. Gabriel hit a kick to the head. Cesaro fell backwards. Gabriel followed up with a 450 splash for the win. And the match took exactly 5 minutes. Backstage limo pulled up. And me and a buddy thought it was Ric Flair pulling up. That was his prediction. It goes to show you, predictions could be wrong. And we get Vince McMahon getting out of the limo, and AJ followed him, looking unhappy. Commercial break. Here's the corner that they have painted themselves into, because Cesaro has had a weak title run after beating a comedy champion. This win means nothing for Gabriel. It's just guys trading wins in the undercard. You have 3 hours to fill. Why don't you actually use the time for something productive? Back from commercial, Vince and AJ were already in the ring. Vince was smiling as AJ was stone-faced. I guess she was smoking that RVD marijuana. Vince said she met with the board of directors for several hours today and was here to give the results in her own words. AJ said due to allegations of her fraternization with a wrestler on the roster, she is resigning as GM. She said the allegations weren't true, but she knew she could have them. She could have been fired for any of the decisions she made, so she agreed to resign. But who they put in the position also has been doing the same thing. Fraternization. Because you got to look at Dolph Ziggler. She's fraternizing with him. And the guy previously, that was her boyfriend. So, go figure. Back from the commercial, Vince and AJ, okay, I already said that. AJ said some people consider her mentally unstable, but she thinks that some people just like crazy chicks. She gave a sob story about growing up in New Jersey, living in cars and being homeless. She made it to the boss. She said she never thought she would be anything, but the fans accepted her. And then AJ thanked the fans because she loved every minute of it. She thanked Vince for giving her a chance that nobody else would. They hugged, and Paul Heyman walked out, talking and drew instant heat. He said he didn't know AJ's story before tonight, and it's sad. But business is business, and business tonight was about the GM of Raw. Heyman thought he was being hired as the new GM, and he said that they had to make a decision immediately to replace the GM and put over all the reasons why he should be the choice. Vince leaned in real close and simply said, "No." He introduces a person he said that was not the general manager or interim general manager. The person was the managing supervisor of Raw. He said Vicky Guerrero, and the place rained boos as Vicky comes out. That's what I was saying. Vicky screamed into the microphone to be heard and thanked the board for their confidence. Heyman interrupted her and laid it on thick with her. He asked her to reverse Vince's decision and give CM Punk his choice at Hell in a Cell back. Vince cut him off and said the match would stand, and Punk would face Sheamus in a champion versus championship match. She went on to say it would be the biggest lumberjack match in WWE history. Heyman stormed off and screaming to himself. Vicky turned her venom on AJ and said that she knew AJ wasn't cut out for the job. She said AJ didn't just fraternize with her superstar, she had an affair. She told AJ to get out of the ring. AJ started to leave but turned around and attacked Vicky. I'm glad again for that. And they brawled all over the ring, even tearing each other's clothes a little. Vicky didn't get much wear and tear on her clothes, but AJ got a brief button or two come off. But turned it around and attacked. She turned it around and attacked Vicky, and they brawled all over the ring. Again, as AJ's music played, Vicky escaped the ring and left the ring area. So we get a new GM, but they changed the name, and we use a nebulous affair story to get us there. Wow, this is really weak. Ryback and Miz makes their entrance. Miz yelled at the ref and that he didn't want to have the match. Ryback came over and dragged him over the top rope. Ryback versus Miz. A Goldberg chant broke out from just a second or two. Ryback immediately shoved Miz to the floor. Do you want him in the ring or out of it? Miz got in no offense and Ryback hit the shell shock for the win. Squash match took 2 minutes 32 seconds out of our lives. Be a Star segment aired and the announce team hyped the main event. Commercial break. This is where the 3-hour format starts to drag. Also wait to take the heat off the Miz going into the until Sunday. No wonder they don't do anything to build the feud in the first hour. They killed it right here. Backstage, Eve ran down AJ as a whore on the phone with someone. Caitlyn walks up and said Eve shouldn't be talking about anyone being unprofessional. Eve asked what she meant by that, and Caitlyn showed her a picture that she took over on the phone on SmackDown last Friday. Caitlyn said it was the email that Eve sent to set Caitlyn up for the attack. Eve said that she was going to tell Booker T, and Caitlyn told her to drop the act. They all knew that she was still a witch. Eve slapped Caitlyn and they brawled on the snack table. Layla ran up and broke up the fight, and they had a triple threat. Triple threat snack match. As the referees broke it up. Josh Matthews interviewed Sheamus, who had a brawling buddy, Doll. Sheamus put over his match with Punk for later and started selling cereal while talking about Big Show. Show walked up and knocked the doll out of Sheamus' hands. He told Sheamus to get serious because he was going to fly across the room, just like his doll Daniel Bryan made his ring entrance. So now we have to find out who the person Eve used was, so we can get a tag match with the four women. Has to be good intensity by Big Show. I'm really liking his serious character. The problem is that he makes Sheamus look even more like the Lucky Charms mascot. Dolph Ziggler got the jobber entrance with no Vicky Guerrero. What? So, has he officially dumped him? We'll have to wait and see on SmackDown. Match number 5, Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler. The announce team told us that Vicky won't be accompanying Dolph to the ring due to her new position. What? She can't be on top anymore? Oh darn. Well, that's a plus. That's a plus one from that awful segment. Ziggler kicked Bryan to the floor, and Bryan's holding the knee, being hurt. Kane's pyro popped, and he headed toward the ring. Commercial break. Back from the break, Bryan hits a nasty-looking drop kick in the corner. He continued to sell the knee injury, and Ziggler kicked his leg to take control. He whipped Bryan to the corner and charged. Bryan moves. Ziggler went for the stinger splash, but flew over the top rope. Bryan hits a suicide dive on the floor and rolls Ziggler back into the ring. He slowly climbed to the top, and Ziggler ran up and caught him there with a super sit-out facebuster for a great near fall. Bryan hit a kick-out kick for a near fall. Kane got the fans clapping for Bryan. They started chanting, "Yes, yes, yes," and Bryan flips out. He ran over to Kane and climbed to the turnbuckle and yelled at him, "Stop." Ziggler ran up and hit the zigzag from the distraction and gets the zigzag from the second rope for the win. The match took 14 minutes and 1 second out of our lives. Post-match, Kane and Bryan argue in the ring as Matt Striker King comes out, yelling at them to stop. He said Vicky sent them out to be the host of a unique game show, and then their opponents would be Rhodes Scholars, and that would be next commercial break. Solid TV match for the two guys who can flat go. I even like how they got out of the match without hurting either guy. A rare win for WWE. Of course, now they want to go and mess it up all with a stupid game show. A video recaps AJ's resignation and Vicky's announcement. Kane and Daniel Bryan sat chairs in the ring as the Newlywed Game theme played. Striker announced it was a newly tagged game. He started to go through the introductions, but Kane cut him off. Striker told them to tell the fans something about themselves. Both men did a comedy bio and started arguing again. Rhodes Scholars' music hits and they come up to the ramp. Sandow said that they were not going to participate in the very drivel or dribble. They're there to end. Cody said that they would know them as well as they know each other when Rhodes Scholars wins the tag titles at Hell in a Cell. They left and Kane said the game show was a bust. Striker announced them as the winners and Bryan celebrated. But way over the top. Kane decided to go after Striker, so Striker split. He backed up the ramp and said he wasn't pulling for Hell No on Sunday. Big Show comes out and tosses Striker to the end of the ramp and stormed to the ring himself. What was that? Kane with Daniel Bryan was up next versus Big Show. The match was joined in progress. Kane had Show staggered, but Rhodes Scholars came out. Kane and Bryan watched them, which allowed Show to knock out Kane for the win. Big Show defeated Kane in 5 minutes 31 seconds. After the match, Rhodes Scholars beat up Bryan and rolled him into the ring where Team Hell No both sold the beat down. Backstage, Santino Marella told AJ he thought she did a good job. John Cena walked up. He said, he said if there was anything he could do for her, he would. AJ said thanks. And she did a lot of things that should be gotten her friend, and we gotten her fired, but not this. Cena said she gave up. She should give him a name. And he would talk to the person, and AJ would clear her name. AJ said that the person was Cena. Cena acted stunned. She said that that was why she resigned. She didn't want to drag his name into it. Cena asked if it was from the business dinner, and AJ said she didn't know. She said she thought it was Vicky and cried on Cena's chest. Cena said he would take care of it as they go to commercial. Okay, this seems pretty devious that AJ is going to swerve Cena later on, but I'm okay with it. I'm a little stunned. Yeah, maybe we'll go do the story after Cena's divorce, where allegations of unfaithfulness came up. But this could be fun to watch. I still hate how they got there. But I see a possibility for something more than garbage now. Backstage, Cena walked up to Vince and asked him what was going on. Vince said this was neither the time nor the place. Cena pushed him on it and said that there was some incriminating evidence. Cena pressed him on that, and Vince said it didn't matter. AJ was on probation and was probably going to get fired anyways. Cena asked about Vicky getting the job, and since Vicky said he didn't even know what a managing supervisor was, but he was okay with what it was, and then climbed in a limo and left. Match number 7, Zack Ryder versus Alberto Del Rio with Railroad Rodriguez. Ryder missed the Broski boot, and Del Rio attacked the arm. He used the cross arm breaker for the submission win. After the match, he locked it back in and screamed into a microphone for Orton to tap out. And Del Rio won in a squash match at 2 minutes 42 seconds. Backstage, Cena threw the moving guy out of Vicky's office and got in her face. He called her a backstabbing liar, and Vicky said perception was everything. Cena said he cost AJ a job that she loved. Vicky said Cena asked her out on a date on Raw, and then they had one. She said he was the one who cost AJ her job. I have no idea where they were going with this, being that Cena is so as far as him, but have to admit it, I'm intrigued. Can't remember the last time I saw that was about Punk. I mean, about Cena. WrestleMania, maybe. Josh Matthews introduced Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler said he hated what happened to AJ, but she can't just put her hands on people or fraternize with talent. He said at the end of the day, Cena was the one who really cost AJ her job. He said that he was surprised because he thought AJ would have had better taste. That was totally random and could not have felt much forced. Ziggler had no chance in hell to make that work. I realized his association with Vicky, and that was just redundant. I mean, if you're going to fire one for one and put in the same situation, that didn't make any sense. So, too soon for the story. Ryback hype video showed. I'm sure we will see it again Wednesday night on the main event, which comes on about an hour after I finish this video. The video is going to take another about 5 minutes. Backstage, Punk and Heyman were shown watching it. Heyman told him not to let it get in his head. Punk said it didn't matter. It was more disrespect that he was put in a lumberjack match the week before Hell in a Cell. Heyman told him not to worry about that. He said, when they go live next Monday, everyone is going to deal with the fact that CM Punk is still the WWE champ. And there was no doubt that he was the best in the world. The Lumberjacks made their collective entrances. Commercial break. Boy, it sure does feel like that they are setting this up for a Ryback win. I can't imagine that they will do that, but it sure does feel like that they are going that way. Well done. CM Punk and Sheamus make their ring entrances. Match number 8, CM Punk with Paul Heyman versus Sheamus in the largest lumberjack match in WWE history. There were 30 lumberjacks at ringside. Hard to believe that they had so many on the roster, as thin as the roster is. Sheamus got thrown out first in front of the heels, and they backed away and let him back in the ring. Punk was thrown out next in front of the same group. He got chesty with him, and they rolled him back in the ring. Later, Punk got tossed out in front of the baby faces, and they rolled him back in the ring, while Sheamus was tossed out in front of the same heels. And before they attacked him, before rolling him back in the ring, Punk scored a 2 count off the attack. Commercial break. Back from the commercial, Punk stayed in control and tossed Sheamus to the floor again. The Lumberjacks almost got in a fight with each other, and the heels and babyface argued over Sheamus. Coleslaw mentioned Big Show's 45-second title reign, and his show basically threatened to kill him. Sheamus suddenly powered back and hit a couple of clotheslines. He started his comeback, but Punk broke it up with a high knee for a 2 count. As it goes past the 3 hours, Punk goes to the top. Sheamus caught him up there with a superplex for a 2 count. Punk came right back with a drop chokehold from the second rope, very similar to Raven, which was how he won their match on the first main event. He got a 2 count here on that spot. Sheamus went for the elbow from the top, but Sheamus moved and followed with an Irish curse for a 2 count. Punk then shoved Sheamus away, and Sheamus fell to the floor. He jumped up and beat up all the lumberjacks and slid into the ring. He couldn't beat all 30 lumberjacks, just maybe 15. He immediately hit the white noise and set up the brogue kick for no reason except Sheamus had hit back. Antonio Cesaro jumped in the ring and took the brogue kick. Somebody else took one, but Punk ducked his. Show was on the apron and grabbed Sheamus by the throat. He then chokeslammed Punk he chokeslammed and Punk covered him for the 3 count. The match wasted 18 minutes, 11 seconds out of our lives. As soon as the bell rang, Ryback's music hit. He came to the ring and Punk tried to run. Lumberjacks rolled him back into the ring and Ryback hit the running power slam. He tried to run away again and they rolled him back into the ring for a pop-up power bomb. Punk tried to roll away a 3rd time. They rolled him back in the ring again. And Ryback hits his finisher, the Shell Shock, to end the show. And that ends my video for Raw for this week. Stay tuned for SmackDown, main event, and Superstars.